The crown struck the marble floor with a sharp metallic sound. 10,000 alien voices fell silent at once. The Ascension Hall of the Valanthi Empire was one of the most powerful places in the galaxy. Tall crystal pillars rose toward a glowing dome ceiling where 3 suns shone through transparent shields. Noble leaders from 40 star systems filled the chamber. At the center of it all stood High Matriarch Seilani, ruler of the Valanthi hegemony. Her violet eyes burned with anger. And in front of her, a human knelt. Ambassador Marcus Webb had been on his knees for 3 hours. His legs hurt. His back ached. Sweat ran down his face. But he refused to move. The alien nobles whispered with disgust. To them, humans were weak creatures. Fragile bones. Short lives. Chaotic societies. The Valanthi lived for centuries and ruled most of the known galaxy. So when Marcus had begged for medical supplies for a human colony dying from disease, the council had laughed. Now Seilani stared down at him. "You are the weakest species we know," she said coldly. "Your bodies break easily. Your lives are short. Your homeworld could be destroyed in a single afternoon." Marcus slowly raised his eyes. But he did not argue. He simply said calmly, 4,000 humans will die without those medicines." The chamber murmured again. Seilani stepped down from her throne platform. Her scales shimmered under the sunlight. Her ceremonial armor weighed heavily on her shoulders. "Then accept your failure," one noble advisor hissed. "Humans must learn their place." Marcus shook his head. "Shame is a luxury my people can't afford." That answer surprised many in the room. Even Seilani paused. Then Marcus asked something that shocked everyone. "Why did you throw your crown, High Matriarch?" The entire hall erupted in outrage. "How dare you?" a noble shouted. But Seilani raised one hand. Silence returned instantly. She stared at the crown lying on the floor. Then she spoke quietly. "Because it means nothing." Marcus blinked. Seilani continued. "My empire spans 40 star systems. My people believe I am strong. But a plague is killing our outer colonies, and my council wishes to abandon them." The room became very still. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "The Valanthi plague?" he asked. "Yes," Seilani replied. "The scourge." She looked directly into his eyes. "My advisors believe sacrificing millions will protect the core worlds." Marcus understood immediately. This was not about humans being weak. It was about pride. The Empire was too proud to admit it needed help. Marcus slowly stood, even though his legs trembled. "Humans are weak," he said softly. The nobles smirked. "But we are very good at surviving things that should kill us." Seilani studied him carefully. Marcus continued. "Years ago, a plague destroyed my colony on Kepler 42. 60% of the population died." His voice grew quieter. "My wife died. My daughter died." For the first time, Seilani showed emotion. Marcus continued. "But humans found a cure." The hall fell silent. Marcus activated a hologram showing genetic scans. "The Valanthi scourge isn't a natural disease." Seilani frowned. "It's too perfect. Too controlled. Someone designed it." The nobles gasped. "A biological weapon?" Seilani asked. Marcus nodded. "Yes. And whoever made it expected your pride to stop you from asking for help." Seilani stared at him for a long moment. Then something surprising happened. She picked up her crown. Instead of placing it on her head, she held it out to Marcus. Gasps filled the hall. "You will come with me," Seilani announced loudly. "You will examine this plague in our outer colonies." Her advisor shouted in protest. "You cannot trust a human." Seilani ignored him. She pressed the crown into Marcus's hands. "Hold this," she said quietly. "Return it to me when I deserve to wear it again." The entire court stood frozen. The High Matriarch turned and walked toward the exit. Marcus hesitated only a moment. Then he followed her. Behind them, 10,000 shocked nobles watched the human carrying their ruler's crown. 6 hours later, Their shuttle traveled through deep space toward the infected colony. Seilani sat across from Marcus reviewing medical reports. Marcus studied her carefully. Without armor, she looked less intimidating. Still tall, but tired. "You're staring," she said without looking up. "I'm observing," Marcus replied. Seilani glanced at him. "That is considered either a challenge or courtship among my people." Marcus almost choked. "Neither," he said quickly. Seilani almost smiled. "You humans are strange," she said. "Your species should have collapsed decades ago. Yet you keep spreading across the stars." Marcus shrugged. "We're stubborn." Seilani looked out the window. "My people call humans wrathful." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "What does that mean?" "The ones who should have died." Marcus chuckled softly. "Sounds about right." Seilani leaned closer. "So tell me, Marcus Webb, can a fragile human really save my empire?" Marcus looked down at the crown still in his hands. "I don't know," he said honestly. "But I'll try." Seilani nodded slowly. "Good." Outside the shuttle window, the stars stretched into lines as they entered warp. The fate of an empire now rested on the hands of the weakest species in the galaxy. And neither of them knew if they would survive what waited ahead. 34 hours later, the transport ship arrived at Valanthi Colony 7. The moment they reached orbit, alarms sounded across the bridge. "Defense grid activated," a crew officer shouted. Weapon platforms surrounded the planet. All aimed at them. Seilani's eyes widened. "Report." Commander Veth spoke grimly. "The colony governor has declared independence." Marcus blinked. "What?" "The governor claims the Empire abandoned them," Veth said. "He refuses to let us land." Marcus looked at the screen. 200,000 people were dying from the plague below. And now politics might kill them all. Seilani clenched her fists. "This is madness." Marcus stepped forward. "Let me talk to him." Everyone turned to stare. "A human?" The commander scoffed. Marcus shrugged. "He hates the Empire. But I'm not the Empire." Seilani studied him carefully. Then she nodded. "Open the channel." A hologram flickered to life. Governor Keth appeared. His scales were pale and cracked. Fever burned in his eyes. "So the High Matriarch finally arrives," he said bitterly. "To watch us die." Seilani began to speak, but Marcus stepped forward. "My name is Marcus Webb. I'm human." The governor blinked in surprise. "A human, on the Matriarch's ship." "I might have a cure for the plague," Marcus said. Keth narrowed his eyes. "Why would a human care about Valanthi lives?" Marcus answered honestly. "Because I watched a plague kill my wife and daughter." Silence filled the bridge. "I know what it feels like to be abandoned," Marcus continued. "But if you let me land, I'll fight this disease with everything I have." "And if you fail?" Keth asked. Marcus shrugged. "Then I die on your planet trying." The governor studied him carefully. Then he slowly leaned back. "A weak human, trying to save an empire." He laughed softly. "Perhaps the galaxy truly has gone mad." After a moment, he sighed. "Lower the defense grid." The bridge crew erupted in relief. The ship descended toward the capital city. The hospital below was chaos. Thousands of sick Valanthi filled the wards. Marcus immediately began studying live samples of the plague. Seilani stood beside him for hours. Marcus barely slept. Finally, he slammed his fist on the console. "I think I found it." Seilani leaned forward. "The disease is programmed like a computer virus." Marcus showed her the molecular structure. "If I reverse the protein sequence, it could destroy the plague from inside." "Could?" Seilani asked. Marcus looked uneasy. "It's never been tested." "Then we must test it," she said. Marcus grabbed a syringe. "And injected himself." Seilani shouted in shock. "What are you doing?" Marcus winced as the medicine burned through his veins. "I can't test it on your people first." The medical scanners beeped loudly. Everyone waited. 30 seconds passed. Then 1 minute. Marcus took a shaky breath. Still alive. Selani stared at him in disbelief. You reckless human. Marcus smiled weakly. But the cure works. They immediately began treating patients. Hour after hour, Marcus worked non-stop. Selani helped him distribute medicine across the city. Then the first miracle happened. A patient's fever dropped. Then another. And another. By the 6th hour, recovery rates reached 80%. The hospital staff stared at Marcus in awe. Governor Keth slowly stood from his bed. You actually did it. Marcus leaned against a wall, exhausted. Not alone. Selani walked toward him. Her eyes shone with pride. She reached into her robe and pulled out the crown. Gasps filled the room. She held it out to Marcus. You promised to return this when I earned it. Marcus gently placed the crown on her head. The hospital erupted in cheers. Selani looked down at him. The weakest species in the galaxy saved my people today. Marcus shook his head. No. Humans just refuse to give up. Selani smiled softly. And that is true strength. 3 weeks later, the plague was contained. The colony survived. Marcus stood beside Selani aboard her private ship. Stars streamed past the window. You should return to Earth, Selani said quietly. Your mission is complete. Marcus nodded slowly. But I don't want to leave. Selani looked at him. Among my people there is a word, she said. Vethala. What does it mean? Marcus asked. It means 2 lives becoming 1 path. Marcus smiled. That sounds serious. It is. Selani stepped closer. I want you to stay. Not as a diplomat. Not as a guest. She gently took his hand. As my equal. Marcus looked out at the endless stars. Then back at her. All right, he said softly. Selani laughed quietly. You humans truly are impossible. Marcus grinned. Maybe. Together they watched the galaxy stretch before them. A human. An alien queen. And a future no one had ever imagined. The weakest species had not only saved an empire. It had changed the destiny of the stars.